crime in Hacienda Heights, where a woman is dragged by a purse snatcher across a parking lot while still clutching her handbag. Now, a couple of men, they ran after the suspect. A bold crime in Hacienda Heights, where a woman is dragged by a purse snatcher across a parking lot while still clutching her handbag. Now, a couple of men, they ran after the suspect, but he managed to get away with the woman's purse.
KTLA's Carlos Saucedo is live in Hacienda Heights with reaction tonight. Carlos.
Good evening. The violent robbery happened outside this Bank of America. A woman was desperately holding onto her purse, but the suspect was able to snatch it and get away. Tonight, I spoke with residents here in Hacienda Heights who tell me they think crime is simply getting out of control. The robbery quick but hard to watch. A woman is dragged in the parking lot as she clutches onto her purse. The thief finally yanks it from her as she's on the ground and takes off, while bystanders chase him off. The robbery happened Monday afternoon outside this Bank of America on Azusa and Pepperbrook Way in Hacienda Heights.
It might be your aunt, your grandma. I come here with my wife, my little kid.
Shalom, shalom, Yasharala, all praises and glory goes to our mighty power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the legman that's continually feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, in sincerity and in truth with this great gospel. And we're looking at the Lord returning punishment upon these other nations, right? And destroying the land of Egypt at the same time, the spiritual land Egypt, right? Because it talks about these different plagues that will come upon Egypt, right? The loss of jobs, right? Poverty, right? The wisdom vanishing, right? The wisdom has vanished to the point where these colleges are useless. They're shutting down, right? These schools and institutions, right? At one time, you go to school to learn math, history, science, right? All these different things, but now you go to school where they're forcing you in the indoctrination of what LGBTQ, right? LGBTQ. That's what they're pushing down your throat, right? They're telling you that they're trying to, how can we say, mold you into a one world order. So you're being indoctrinated. So really, we're focusing on the rebellious of what the children of Israel upon what this wicked ass society, this wicked land. I'm going to read the book of Isaiah 42, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. Right? Because if you look at how these heathens got the riches of this society, it was what through our what destruction, through our what enslavement, through us going through into captivity. That's how the main nation on earth who's rich and filled with all the wealth and filled with all the power. How did he get that wealth and power? What? Through the destruction of who? The children of Israel. We talking about the so-called white man who brought us down, right? So it says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. We were robbed and spoiled by Esau, Edom. When you go to Psalm 68th chapter, it breaks down the different nations that came against us, right? And Apocrypha says, what nation have not had part in our destruction? Paraphrasing. So all these nations had something to do with our downfall, and we went against these nations at one time. So we're coming to the time where the kingdom of heaven is going to be established with a people that's going to rule forever over all the other nations, right? All the other nations, Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, right? You got Jake stuck in these fucked up conditions, right? In these bad neighborhoods. All they got is what? Gangs, drugs, liquor, right? That fucked up television, right? No jobs, right? No opportunity. So, right? Esau thought that shit was just gonna stay in the hood, but they ain't staying in the hood, right? Because Jake robbing and spoiling what? These heathens, right? It says Chicago police investigating 62 armed robberies reported across the city in recent weeks. And these robberies are moving more into what? So-called white neighborhoods, so-called European neighborhoods. You got white man just walking down the street. You got white boy riding his bike, right? So-called white man think he's safe in this society. You don't rape and rob of people, man. The Lord about to turn it up on your ass. I'm reading Isaiah 42 and 22, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restoreth, right? So Jake's stuck in the worst condition you have ever imagined. You have ever imagined public housing, project housing, right? Roaches, rats, and fucking bed bugs, and gang violence, drugs, drug addicted parents, right? Poverty, right? All you got is food stamps, and the only stores you could go to got chips, liquor, blunts, cigars, right? Fucking shit that destroy your body. No fucking thing that give you nutrients. Nothing good for your soul. So what, man? The Lord turned the spirit up on Jake, right? The Jake about to go crazy on you fucking heathen. Zechariah 12:3. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. Yeah, you so-called white man walking with your dog, white woman walking with your dog. I'm just going for a walk, guys. I'll be back. Yeah, you gonna walk down the street. There's gonna be 4 niggas jump out the fucking car, bust your shit open with a pistol, and take your shit and take your dog and sell that motherfucker. Because it says, if this is a people robbed and spoiled, what else it tell you in the book of Obadiah? Let me read that. I love the book of Obadiah. Here we go. Come on. Hurry the fuck up. 15th chapter. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. This Obadiah 1:15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. Right? You go back to them days when Esau was establishing themselves. These goddamn crackers to hop out on black men and rob them and beat them up, hang them, right? Torture them, right? A lot of black men, Latino men, Hispanic men did not make it back home because you got to realize there was Hispanics hung. There was a Latinos hung, right? You got a lot of wars that was fought in the southern and South America, right? Central and South America. What? That's all Israel fighting against who? The conquistadors, you fucking wicked ass Edomite devils, right? It says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. So yeah, this heathen ain't safe no more, man. When you think about the times that we're living in, because the Bible in Zechariah 12:3 says, and in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people, right? These heathens hate us, right? And fucking blacks and Mexicans, man, they're so violent. What's wrong with them? Trump's called the Hispanics the top rapers. Yeah, they're good for raping and selling drugs, right? You gotta realize the so-called white man hates you Latinos, you Hispanics, right? They done took your identity and gave you some bullshit. You should be mad anytime a motherfucker call you a Latino or a Hispanic. Same way you should be mad a motherfucker call you a black man. It's talking about you are nothing. Nigga, you a black man. You is nothing. Motherfucker, what you call me? Right? You gotta return back to your identity. Come back to your heritage. Because you have lost all these things. You was what? Robbed and spoiled. But what the Lord say? What the Lord say? Here we go. Here we go. This is the book of Baruch. Let's start at 2 and verse 30. And it reads, here we go. Matter of fact, let's go back. There's so much beauty in this Bible. You don't know where to start, right? It says, here we go. I'm going to start at the book of Baruch 2 and 28. And it reads, as thou spakest by the servant Moses in the day when thou didst commanded him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, if ye will not hear my voice, surely this great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, right? We was robbed, we was spoiled by who? The nations. We was led into captivity by who? These other nations, by these heathen nations, man. That's what happened. Right? The Lord took his protection from amongst us. That was that hedge of protection. That's when we became open season upon who? The children of Israel. And we was brought to nothing, brought to naught, to the point where we don't even remember who we are as God's people. Right? It says, if ye will not hear my voice, Surely, this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am Yahweh, I am the Lord, their power. For I will give them an heart and ears to hear, man. Right? Because the Lord is removing that fucking zombie spirit. Or you was dead, right? He that wandereth out the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Right? You lost the knowledge and wisdom of the scriptures, of the laws of the Lord, and followed after the ways of the multitude of the heathens. So you became dead like the heathens. So now the Lord is giving you an ear to hear and eyes to see, right? You're being revived. You're being brought back from the dead. I'm going to read it again. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves and shall know. What they going to do? They shall know. Bear with me. They shall remember themselves, and they shall know that I am the Lord their power. For I will give them an heart and ears to hear, right? The Lord is going to open your mind, your brain, so you can receive and understand and comprehend, right? And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity. That's why we say, call all praise Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Call Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Barakatah Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Yeah, we're going to say that all day, right? And shall know that I am their Lord. I am the Lord their power. For I will give them in heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name. We don't know the name of God. We don't know. Then you ain't one of them people the Lord talking about in this time. What it says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name. The Lord has many names. No, the Lord has one name, and we gonna know that name, because that's the name you're gonna be saved by. I'm gonna read again. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, right? From their wicked deeds, right? Jake on pure madness, pure bullshit, right, Jake? And we ain't just talking about them spoiling the heathen nations. It's all, man, this is before all this shit we dealing with right now. We're in this condition right now because of what we did, right? The Lord's going to remove that filthiness from us, man, that idol worshiping spirit, that false God worshiping spirit, right? That Baal spirit, that Satan spirit, right? That heathen loving spirit. The Lord's going to purge that spirit from us. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers, right? Which sin before the Lord, right? Right now, these niggas is lost in a motherfucker. Lost in a motherfucker. The Lord about to put a spirit in the 2/3. They about to wake up and return and do what? And return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sin before the Lord. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them. With who? With them, the children of Israel, to be their power. They shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people out, and I will no more drive my people, Israel, out of the land that I have given them, man. So we will, never go down as a nation again. We will never go into captivity and fall again.